In this video, we're going to look at how to solve a log equation by isolating the variable. So if I look at my equation, I have 4 times log base 6 of x minus 3 equals 8. When I look at the equation, I notice I have one single x here that we're trying to solve for, which means I'm allowed to rearrange. So I'm going to start with moving any addition or subtraction I might have. I do have a subtract 3, but unfortunately it is inside the bracket. It's the argument of my log, so I'm not allowed to move that. So next I would move to multiplication and division. I do have a multiply by 4 out front here, so I would start by dividing both sides by 4. So I'm going to get log base 6 of x minus 3 equals, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now from here, I cannot touch what's in the bracket. I need to find a way to get rid of the bracket. The bracket is there to show the argument for the log. So if I want access to that bracket, I'm going to need to get rid of the log. So I need to think about what the inverse of a log is. And the inverse of a log is an exponential using the same base. So the inverse of a log base 6 is a power with a base of 6. So this would become x minus 3 equals 6. So there's that base to the power of 2. So the base that's here becomes the base of my power, and the number that's on this side becomes the exponent. Now 6 squared is 36. And then I would add 3 to both sides to get 36 plus 3, which is 39. So x equals 39. Now, there is one little catch with logs. So you cannot take the log of 0. You cannot take the log of a negative number. So sometimes when you're solving a log equation, you might find that you get an answer, but when you take that answer and put it back into the equation, you end up getting either a negative or a 0 inside the log. And if that happens, that answer is considered to be something we call extraneous. So I'm going to check for extraneous answers. Normally, I don't write it out all formally like this, but it's our note. So we're going to check for extraneous answers. Extraneous answers mean I solved the equation, I got a solution, but that solution, when I put it back into my equation, doesn't work in the log. What wouldn't work in the log? If the argument is either 0 or if the argument is a negative. So I'm going to take the argument, which is x minus 3. I'm going to put in my answer, which is 39. 39 take away 3 is 36. Is that 0? No. Is that a negative? No. So you could take log base 6 of 36, which means this is okay, which means this answer is okay. It doesn't necessarily mean this answer is right. I could have made a mistake. But it does mean that 39 will actually work in that equation, right? You could put that number in. If I had ended up getting an answer x equals 1, if I did 1 minus 3, I would get negative 2, and you can't take the log of a negative number. So that would be a problem, and we would say that answer was extraneous. We would cross it out and write that it was extraneous, or that there is no solution. Okay? We will talk about this more when we move on in our next unit to learning a little bit more about log equations. All right, so I would like you to try this question here on your own. So my recommendation, pause the video, try the question, and then when you're done, unpause the video, and I will go through my solution. Okay, so I have log base 4 of 3x minus 8 equals 5. I do have some subtraction, but it's inside the bracket, so I can't move it. I also have multiplication, but it's also inside the bracket, so I cannot move it. The reason they're inside the bracket is that this is the argument for my log, so I would need to eliminate that log. How am I going to eliminate a log base 4? On the opposite side, we're going to do a power with a base of 4. So this is going to become 3x minus 8 equals 4. That's the base of the power to the power of 5. 4 to the power of 5, according to my calculator, is 1,024. I could also have used my power sheet. And then I would add 8. That is 1,032. And then divide by 3 to get that x equals 344. Now, in the previous question, I did check for extraneous answers, and I formally wrote it out. You really don't have to formally write it out. You could even just check on your calculator, but since this is my note, I want to try to write it down so that we remember that we're supposed to do it. So if I am checking, I'm only checking the argument, so 3x minus 8. I'm going to put my answer in. I can already tell it's not going to give me a 0 or a negative, but I'm going to calculate anyways. So 344 times 3 minus 8 is 1,024. Is that 0? No. Is that a negative? No, which means I'm okay. I could take a log of a number like 1,024. So that means 344 is okay. Now you could just do the check on your calculator, and that's okay. You don't have to write it down, but I did because it was our note. Okay, you can join me in the next video to learn how to solve a log equation, an exponential equation, by isolating the variable.